A Thunder Report from 107.7 The Franchise.
Greetings, Thunder fans. Oklahoma City regrouped here at the Integris Development Center after a day off yesterday. On today's Franchise Thunder Report, Scott Brooks tells us the only player he knows for sure will not play tomorrow night against the Spurs is Thabo Sefolosha. Kendrick Perkins and Reggie Jackson worked out with the team on a limited basis today, and their availability is still up in the air. We also don't know if Russell Westbrook will play tomorrow against the Spurs or on Friday at Houston. We will start off with the head coach of the Thunder, and then we'll continue with Caron Butler, who talks about playoff experience in this final stretch for Oklahoma City. Then we'll finish up with Derek Fisher, who even talked about rumors of him coaching for Phil Jackson in New York or even continuing his playing career. It's all coming up today on the Franchise Thunder Report.
It's always good to have practice time. I thought today's practice was good in a lot of ways. I think the main way was it was a loud practice, and I say that in a positive way. It was a lot of communication. We've talked about that as a team, as a staff, that we have to be better communicators in our coverages, in our execution. And today, I'm surprised if you guys didn't hear it today. It was loud, and everybody was locked in on our communication part of what we want to get accomplished day in, day out.
What's your health situation with Reggie, Thabo, and Perk at this point?
Reggie went through most of the practice. We'll see how he feels tomorrow. Perk did some, I would say, most of it also, with a few breaks here and there. And then Thabo just did the very, very, very beginning, early part, just to warm up. So we'll see how, just keep progressing, moving forward, see how they all feel tomorrow.
Is there even a shot Perkins plays tomorrow?
Not sure. Just, I mean, he did some of the practice today, and just see how he feels tomorrow.
As far as Perk and Serge are both in the top 10 at opponents' field goal percentage at the rim, I mean, what makes them so good underneath?
They're defensive minded. They think getting stops. They take the challenge of blocking and altering shots. They're not worried about getting scored on. They're taking it, they look at it as it's an opportunity not to get scored on. So they're there. All of our bigs do a good job. That's what makes us a good defensive team. We're active on the perimeter, and we try to get deflections and steals, and if we do get beat, we have bigs that love to clean up. You know, Nick is the charge taker. Serge and Perk and Hash and Steven, those guys have the ability to alter and change shots up in the air.
Coach, I know you have bigger goals and there's a lot of basketball left to be played, but what would it mean to you all to potentially win another Northwest Division title?
Well, I think I mentioned a few days ago, it's you don't take it for granted. You don't take it for granted. Every year, obviously you have your goals, and winning the division is one of them. But we understand it takes a lot of work to accomplish that. You know, we're not there yet, but to have 4 in a row is something that we're proud of as an organization. There's a lot of parts that have to work and fall into place for it to happen, and we take pride in not skipping steps, and I think this is a direct result of everybody on the same page and playing the game together.
For you guys as a coaching staff, what kind of goes into these last 8 games? What are you looking for from certain guys as you're finishing out the season?
Well, number one is make sure everybody's healthy going into the postseason. It's important, and then just sharpen up the things that we've worked on all year. We have habits that we want to continue to build, and we don't want to have any slippage there. And I think our guys have done a good job of staying the course. It's a long season. It's a lot of games. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of emotions that go into an NBA season, and I think our team does a pretty good job of staying pretty level through the wins and the losses. And I think going into the playoffs, we understand that it's going to be emotional, game in, game out, and you just want to stay focused and stay in the moment as much as we can.
Is Russell going to rest one of these next 2 like he has been doing on back-to-back?
We're just going to focus on the next game, and we'll let you know at the appropriate time.
Did you was it good, do you think?
Good answer.
For you? was it good for you guys, you think, to have
this time off, so to speak, or without a game between Sunday and tomorrow?
I think it's good in a lot of ways. It gives you time to recover. It's one thing, you're always going to have some bumps and bruises through an NBA season, and even with 3 or 4 days between games, those are still going to be there. But it does give us the time to just mentally kind of take a deep breath and understand that what's ahead is going to be a lot of games, a lot of high pressure moments, a lot of intensity, and then but we have time to rest now, but it's no more rest. We have 3 games in 4 nights and 3 very good teams that are fighting for either playoff position or playoff life.
Reggie's had a ton of success against his Spurs this year. Do you like his matchup against Patty Mills, against Tony Parker, his ability to kind of get to the rim on them?
He's played well against them. Like I said, you have to do it again. As players, you have to do it again. As teams, you have to do it again. You can't rest on the last game, individually and as a team. We have to play well again. They're the hottest team in basketball right now with their winning streak, but they do it every year. We understand what we have to do, and it's definitely not an easy game, but it's a game that we're excited about playing. It gives us a great opportunity to play against one of the best teams in the game. Reggie's had some success, but like I said, you have to come out and do it again.
Coach, is Russ on a minutes restriction, and if so, how do you sort of balance that with wanting to win the game? How many minutes you guys play?
Is Russ on a minute restriction? Yeah. You didn't know that?
Well, I can't hear if it's already been answered. So
no, but it's been well documented.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Previously, is it different than it has been? Is it increased?
Yeah, it's increased a tad. It's increased a tad.
Do we want to say what it's up to?
No.
No.
Just ask Ross. He'll tell you. He told you last time.
How important is getting the 1 seed in the West to you guys?
It's always important to win games and play your best and put yourself in the best position. Like I said a few days ago, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. We want to play good basketball going into the playoffs. We want to get healthy. We want to play good basketball going into the playoffs. But if we can get home court advantage throughout, it'd be great. We're going to focus on playing well every game. The Spurs, obviously, they're on a roll right now. They seem to be really clicking in all areas of the game. Can we catch them? We don't know. But we're going to keep playing hard and staying focused on what we do.
Scott, there's a theory that Pop might, if he plays his guys tonight, might sit them tomorrow. Would that have any bearing on whether or not you play Russ, or you got your plan and you're sticking to it no matter what?
The thing is, I can talk about hypotheticals until I'm blue in the face. I have some theories that what we do, and I'm sure they're not worried about those either. But we're worried about what we do and focus on what we do. We can't make changes to our plan. Obviously, there's adjustments throughout the games that we do, but we have a plan in place, and we've stuck to that. It's obviously with our minutes with Russell and back-to-back games with Russell, we understand that it's best for all parties involved to limit his back-to-backs and then the minute count. But everything has worked out well. He's feeling better. As a team, we're getting better as the season's winding down.
As someone who's played and now coached, you look at the team like you got them 3 times already this season. Is there any kind of psychological edge you can take into a potential playoff series if you say, hey, we didn't lose these guys all season?
Well, you want to play well against the best teams, and you want to play well against all teams you play. But once the playoffs start, everything is thrown out the door. It's based on how you play that game, and then you make your adjustments through the game, and then go to the next game. We know we played well against them, but like I said, they're playing the best basketball of the season, probably in the entire league with their 18-game winning streak.
We just got to stick to the script and. We watch film together on some things that we can do better still, and it's on the defensive end. We want to continue to execute our offense and continue to flow and play off our great players, Kevin and Russ. So, we did a lot of execution and, defensive concepts today, and we got a lot better.
Where do you see, though, you talk about fine-tuning things on defense, but it seems like this offense hasn't really missed a beat, especially since you've been here. Is there some, I don't know, confidence in that fact that offensively you guys seem to keep on clicking?
Yeah, we're doing a great job of scoring the ball and putting it in the basket with the best of them, but, you still want to, hang your hat on defense and, playing, a tough grit style of basketball and a good brand of basketball on that end of the floor. And, shots may not fall sometimes, so you want to hang your hat on defense.
Yeah, you said there's stuff you can improve on the defensive end. What specifically do you guys really want to work on improving on defense?
Communication. I think that's key. I'm starting to understand what Serge is talking about in the back. I'm catching on to his accent and stuff, so it's coming. But that's the big key. Just talking, staying on the same accord, and just covering each other and having each other back.
Glenn, I know you play hard all season, but do you hit another gear at this stretch? Do teams hit another gear?
Yeah. I mean, I think we got nine more now. I think when you get to like the 5-game part, you start clicking a little more. Practices start being a little more intense. Fouls start being a little harder. You smell. It's just a different energy, and the intensity go way higher. So it's starting to come around, and guys feel it, and you're starting to take care of your body a little better and get ready for that push.
Carl, you were 5 of 5 from three-point range. Is that a product of you being more comfortable with the team, them finding you more? What?
I think it's just getting in shape and knowing where your shots and opportunities come from, and getting in the gym. Me and Coach Pack and the coaching staff in the gym. Twice a day. Working out. Before practice, during practice, after practice. Getting shots and where they're going to come from, and prior to coming here, I was off for 2.5 weeks before the buyout and everything. So, I'm starting to get a rhythm and get back in basketball speed.
Along the same lines, your three-point percentage attempts has increased. At what point did you feel more comfortable taking that shot?
I think my first year in Dallas, doing a lot of work with Rick Carlisle in the offseason and, getting me, more and more comfortable with taking that shot instead of hesitating. Now I don't think about it. It's just a natural instinct. Just take the shot. And before it was more of a hesitation thing or, do it in rhythm with a dribble or something. But I'm comfortable with shooting that shot now.
Is that something you can share with maybe some of the other guys that are having to work through some of those growing pains as well?
Yeah, talking about shooting
like
the three.
Jeremy or
I think one of the things that you got to do is just shoot the ball and take what's given to you. Early in my career, I used to always just want to drive the ball, drive it every time, and get to the bucket. That's what I was trained to do at the great University of Connecticut. But you just you shoot the ball and you get more and more comfortable, and as you see it go in, and you made it when guys say, oh, don't leave them open and stuff like that. You hear the chatter, and that's when you start feeling more and more comfortable with taking that shot.
Do you ever think you've taken 5.5 a game like you are now with this team?
No, but I like it. It's open looks. Like I said, like you get into the foul line and you just lining it up, and I take those percentages, and if I miss a few, if I make a few, I'm gonna continue to shoot them because I put a lot of work in, so I trust in my craft.
How impressed are you by this 18-game winning streak the Spurs are on?
I'm very impressed. But I wouldn't expect anything less from an organization and a team like that. They tip their hat on excellence, every season, and they continue to get better. So you got to give respect where respect is due, and but that's where it stops. It's another opportunity for us tomorrow night. They got a big game against Golden State tonight at home, so going to watch that and scout the game and get prepared for the next challenge.
Well, Fish, you guys have 8 games left. You're 14-3 so far against those opponents this year. Even though we talk about how difficult a stretch this is coming up, is there a sense of confidence in the way you guys have played these opponents so far?
Yeah, I think we tried our best this year to show respect to all of our opponents. Haven't played as well as we'd like to at times, but it's April now. It's amazing to think about that, but it's April, and the mentality we're going to need to finish this season and going into the postseason, kind of starts now. So hopefully that's what we'll do starting tomorrow night.
We talk a lot about the Spurs system and how good they've been at just plugging different guys in. You guys have been able to do that as well this year. Reggie's been out, Tabo. Does that show how far this team has come, that you've been able to deal with those blows and continue getting those wins?
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to just the growth and development of not just the individual players on the team, but, you know, collectively as a group, the organization as a whole. You know, you think about from 2008 to now, there haven't been very many teams and organizations as successful as this one. And so I think that all factors into it. And, you know, why with missing starters and your best player, you know, one of your best players being in and out of the lineup all season, that we've been able to be as consistent as anybody in the league.
Speaking of that sustained success, this team has a chance to win its 4th straight division title. Can you just give us some perspective on how rare of a thing that is in the NBA to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's not easy to be the best, and so you know, part of being the best is you know, establishing habits, you know, creating a foundation in terms of the way you do things, and so you know, you try to excel at all times, and you know, winning a division in any pro sport, to be honest, is an amazing accomplishment in itself one time. So, you know, to have an opportunity to do it 4 times in a row, you know, I think it just speaks to what happens here on a day-to-day basis. And so, you know, it's a great opportunity for the team. We obviously have bigger goals, but, you know, there are a lot of short-term goals, you know, on the way to the long-term goal. And, you know, I think winning a division is one of them.
Is there a little more energy in the building when the team is coming in here on an 18-game winning streak?
Not really. I mean, our energy really shouldn't be predicated or dictated by what another team has been doing, because they don't play the game for us. So, you know, regardless of how well they've been playing or if they hadn't been playing well, you know, if there's a game at 7 o'clock at Chesapeake Arena, you better show up and be ready to play a certain way. And, you know, we you know, we hold ourselves to that type of standard, and, you know, hopefully we'll be ready to do that tonight, regardless of what they decide to do.
Garrett, what does a veteran know that you would like younger players to know about this point in the season?
You know, I don't know. I think that, you know, what happens this time of season is not an accident, and that there's a lot of, you know, day-to-day preparation and work that goes into being successful at this time of year. You know, a lot of people see the regular season and the playoffs as kind of like these independent, disconnected entities, and they really are intertwined in more ways than people think. And so it's very difficult to have playoff success if you haven't established certain things in, you know, the 6 or 7 months before that. And, you know, I think that's one thing that younger players start to understand the more experience they get with playing in the postseason.
You guys have won 9 of 11 against them. Is there certain ways you match up?
Who is them?
The Spurs. You won 9 of 11 against the Spurs.
Okay.
Is there certain ways you match up well with them?
I mean, I don't know, because that doesn't really mean anything, you know. Like we tomorrow's game has absolutely nothing to do with what we've done against them in the past and any games we play against them in the future. You know, I just think that I think we obviously respect who they are and what they're capable of doing, but we try to do that with all of our opponents, and I think, you know, that's why we have a chance to win 60-plus games in an 82-game season. Is you can't decide to play on Thursday night because it's the Spurs a different way than you decide to play on Sunday because it's the Suns, or Sunday because it's the Jazz, or what. You better show up to play the game the same way. And, you know, we're fortunate to have that type of success against a really good team, but at least we try, I think, at least from my perspective, you know, not to read too much into what happened the time before and those kind of things. But we'll see. I mean, we won't know until we show up tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Derek, the offense as a whole seems to be run really smoothly and playing at a high level. Are there some small things, some of the detail-oriented things that are sticking out to you about why you guys have been playing so well on that end of the floor?
No, I mean, I don't think it's, you know, a lot to analyze, just other than really trying to remain committed to, you know, what we said to start the season. You know, it's just that we're going to continue to show the type of trust in each other as a team and our teammates, you know, that successful teams have to show. And, you know, no guys can really do it alone or by themselves. And we've just been trying to build on those habits, you know, since the beginning of the season. You know, there's some nights it looks like we have no idea, you know, who the other guy is on the team. But there have been a lot of nights where, you know, we've been very proud of what we've done out there and how we're moving the ball and showing a lot of trust, where guys are passing up good shots to get great shots. And, you know, I think there are some nights, in particular in the regular season, it's easier to do than others, because there are a lot of things that guys think about during the regular season. And so hopefully in the postseason, you know, it'll only be about one thing and winning, and that's it, and be able to continue to build on those habits.
Fish, you gonna go coach Knicks when you're done here?
Nah, that is not that is not in my radar, in my scope, or anything that I've thought about, even coaching in general. You know, I think I've been pretty consistent with, you know, not really having that decided in terms of what's next. Absolutely, you know, I think I'm so committed to being a player that it's even hard to see myself, you know, doing some other things, in particular, you know, coaching or something that puts me on the other side of the sideline so quickly. I have a lot of respect for the profession. I think there are a lot of great coaches and great men out there, and great women that do a phenomenal job. But for me, it's just, you know, I picked that number on my jersey for a reason, and until that's concluded, you know, I haven't spent a lot of time, you know, in terms of what my definite pursuit is going to be after that.
You still close with Phil?
Last question, Professor.
Very, very.
Does his presence there just kind of make it even more appealing, though, the possibility of it?
No, I mean, I think his presence there is just gratifying, you know, because I know him so well, you know, and so just to see him get that type of opportunity to possibly establish the type of culture as an executive that he established as a coach, that's pretty exciting. But in terms of where I might fit into it, that's not the type of relationship we have, you know. I mean, even when he, you know, was deciding each year whether or not to come back and coach, and, you know, we'd have conversations, and I never would tell him what I wanted him to do, you know. I always wanted us to just have a friendship that went beyond, you know, whether or not I wanted him to still coach or not. And so I think that relationship remains. I congratulated him, and, you know, we've spoken, but he hasn't said anything to me about it, and I haven't said anything to him about it. And so, you know, the reports that I have been reported to about I've found them pretty funny myself, because it's not something that's happened directly between the people that are being mentioned, I guess.
That's Thunder guard Derek Fisher. Tomorrow night's TotallyTickets.com Countdown to Tip-Off show airs live from Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. We get started at 6 o'clock with Desmond Mason and John Rohde, and yours truly. We hope you'll come by and see us. Thanks for watching today's Thunder Report. I'm David Garrett for 107.7 The Franchise.